John's heart pounded as he stumbled upon the trap in the dense forest. Before him writhed a young wolf, its paw clamped in a steel jaw, blood staining the snow. The animal snarled, eyes blazing with feral desperation, yet laced with a pain that pierced the soul. John, the seasoned wildlife guardian, didn't hesitate. He lunged forward, hands shaking from the chill, but resolve burned fiercer. "Hold on, buddy," he whispered, prying the jaws apart. The wolf whimpered, snapping weakly, but John dodged, soothing with a steady murmur. At last, the paw freed, and the creature limped into the shadows, casting a final glance, a blend of gratitude and wariness. Years slipped by. John patrolled the woods, freeing deer from poachers' snares, bears from poisoned baits. That wolf lingered in his mind, an emblem of the bond between man and wild. He dubbed him Scar from the deep gash on the limb. Now and then, John pictured him roaming the thickets, unbound thanks to his deed. But the ranger's life was harsh. Storms snapped branches overhead, floods swamped trails, and isolation gnawed deeper than hunger. He seldom spoke of old days, yet his gaze held a warmth from tales of rescued lives. 2 decades vanished like wind through branches. John, now gray and weary, sensed his vigor fading. A heart attack struck on his favorite path, where he'd once loosed the wolf. Friends discovered him with a smile frozen, as if bidding farewell to the woods. The funeral unfolded on a clearing by the river, a humble spot where John cherished rests. A small crowd, fellow rangers, a handful of locals versed in his yarns. Soil softened from fresh rain, air thick with damp pine scent. The minister spoke of devotion to the wild, voice quivering with feeling. Suddenly, rustling pierced the thicket. All froze. From the gloom emerged a wolf, massive, silver-furred, etched with battle scars. The paw still favored slightly, echoing the ancient wound. He approached deliberately, eyes locked on the casket. Hearts raced. Fear mingled with awe. The wolf didn't growl or bolt. Instead, he halted by the grave, sat, and let out a low, haunting howl, as if mourning a companion. Tears streamed down Ranger's cheeks. "No way," one breathed. But the wolf lingered. He eyed the box as though awaiting a reply. Tension mounted. The wolf rose, edged nearer, sniffing the breeze. Folks stepped back, pulses thundering. Then from his jaws tumbled a tiny object, something gleaming, wrapped in foliage. It hit the ground beside the casket. The wolf retreated, eyes flashing once more, vanishing into the trees. Stunned silence gripped the group. What was that? John had spun yarns of Scar, but none credited such ties. One ranger stooped, snatched the find, an old locket of John's, lost 2 decades back during the rescue. How had the wolf kept it? Chests tightened with raw emotion, but abruptly a fierce growl erupted from the brush, not solitary, but multiplied. Pack, or worse? Eyes darted as wolves began encircling the clearing. The pack closes in on the mourners, but one ranger's bold move changes everything. The growls swelled, vibrating through the damp air like thunder rolling low. Shadows shifted in the underbrush, yellow eyes glinting. 5, no, 7 wolves materializing from the ferns, fur bristling under the fading light. Panic rippled across the clearing. A woman clutched her coat, breath hitching in a sharp gasps, while a young ranger fumbled for his radio, fingers slick with sweat. The metallic tang of fear hung heavy, mixing with the earthy musk of wet soil and pine resin. Scar's lone figure had vanished, but his kin pressed forward, paws silent on the moss, forming a tightening ring around the grave. Old-timer Mike, John's closest patrol partner, squared his shoulders. Memories flooded him. Nights huddled by campfires, swapping tales of near misses with grizzlies. John's laugh cutting through the chill. Now, that laugh silenced forever. Mike's throat burned, eyes stinging, but he couldn't let terror claim this moment. "Easy, folks," he rasped, voice steady despite the quake in his gut. He stepped ahead, arms spread wide, mimicking John's old stance, the one that calmed, spooked elk. The lead wolf, a burly female with a notched ear, paused, head tilting, nostrils flaring at his scent. Her breath puffed in visible clouds, hot and ragged. No one moved. The air crackled with unspoken dread. A child's whimper pierced the hush, quickly muffled by a parent's hand. Mike inched closer to the locket on the ground, its chain glinting like a forgotten promise. Why had Scar returned it now? John's voice echoed in Mike's mind. "Wild ones remember, even when we forget." Heart hammering, Mike knelt slowly, palm extended, the cool metal biting his skin as he reclaimed it. The pack tensed, muscles coiling like springs, a low rumble building in their throats. The female lunged a fraction, teeth bared in a flash of ivory, then halted, sniffing the air again. Something in Mike's gesture, perhaps the echo of John's kindness, held her. Emotions churned, grief twisted into fierce protectiveness, the kind that surges when loss bares your soul. Mike rose, locket clutched tight, and began a soft whistle, the same tune John hummed on patrols, a lilting melody borrowed from river currents. One by one, the wolves' ears perked. The female circled, her gait fluid yet wary, brushing past Mike's leg with a warmth that sent shivers racing up his spine. No snap, no strike, just a fleeting touch, like an old acquaintance acknowledging pain shared. The pack eased, circling wider now, not advancing but watching, their howls fading to curious whines that tugged at heartstrings. But relief shattered as a sharp crack echoed. The radio in the young ranger's hand dropped in haste, sparking against a rock. The pack jolted, eyes wild once more, bodies surging forward in a blur of gray and shadow. Mike spun, shouting warnings, the locket swinging like a pendulum of fate. Claws scraped earth, sending clods flying, the scent of adrenaline sharp as lightning. Mourners scrambled back toward the river's edge, water lapping hungrily at their heels. The female leaped, not at Mike, but over the grave, landing with a thud that shook the ground. In her jaws, a faint glint, another relic? No time to see. The pack closed the gap, and just as fangs gleamed perilously close, a distant roar split the dusk. Not wolf, but something massive, crashing through the trees. Bear? Help? Or harbinger of chaos? Mike braced, pulse roaring, as the undergrowth exploded. A massive shadow. Crashes the scene. Survival hangs by a thread in this heart-stopping clash. Branches snapped. Leaves whipped. A colossal form barreled from the thicket. A grizzly, hulking and furious, fur matted with burrs, eyes locked on the fray. Its roar drowned the wolves' snarls, a guttural boom that vibrated bones. Mike stumbled back, locket biting into his palm. The pack whirled, hackles rising, the female dropping her burden, a small furred bundle quivering. Pups? No, wait. Orphaned cubs? Chaos erupted. Wolves scattered, then regrouped, darting in feints, nipping at the bear's flanks. The grizzly swiped, claws raking air with a whoosh, missing by inches. Dirt flew, yelps pierced the turmoil. Mourners huddled by the river, breaths ragged, the chill water soaking shoes. A ranger's sob broke free, raw, unfiltered grief for John fueling the terror. Mike's mind raced. John's rule, never run from predators, stand firm. But this, a standoff teetering on slaughter. The bear charged the female, massive paws churning soil into mud. She dodged, lithe and fierce, countering with a snap that drew blood. Crimson-sprayed metallic scent fueling the frenzy. Wolves flanked, harrying the beast, their barks sharp as whips. The grizzly bellowed, rearing on hind legs, shadow eclipsing the grave like judgment. Mike surged forward. Instinct overrode fear. He waved the locket high, its gleam catching the dying sun, a beacon in the storm. "Back off!" he yelled, voice cracking. The female glanced, paused mid-lunge. Recognition or hallucination born of panic? The bear lumbered closer, breath hot and foul, like rot and rage. One paw slammed down, inches from the dropped bundle. Two tiny fox kits mewling desperately, fur damp with dew. Why here? Why now? Emotions peaked. Pity for the vulnerable, fury at nature's cruelty, a desperate ache for John's guiding hand. Short bursts, wolves nip, bear swings, claws graze a flank, blood arcs. A wolf tumbles, yelping, ribs cracking audibly. Mike's heart seized. He bolted between them, arms flailing, screaming. John's whistle tuned louder, throat raw. The female hesitated, signaling her pack. They circled tighter, not attacking, but herding. The bear, the kits, the men. The grizzly paused, huffing, massive chest heaving. Sweat stung Mike's eyes. His pulse thundered in ears, drowning the river's rush. One kit scrambled free, tumbling toward the water's edge, slippery bank crumbling under tiny paws. No, Mike dove. Fingers grazed fur. The bear turned, eyes narrowing on the motion. Wolves tensed. The female barked. A command? The grizzly lunged. Time slowed. Claws extended. Mike yanked the kit back, rolling into mud. The second kit clutched under his arm. Impact shuddered through him. Fangs? No. The bear's nose brushed his shoulder, hot exhalation singeing skin. It reared again, conflicted, scenting the locket's familiar tang, John's old bear-repellent charm etched with herbs. The pack held, breaths synchronized in tense rhythm. Culmination crashed. The female leaped onto the bear's back, teeth sinking into scruff. It roared, bucking wildly. Wolves piled on, a whirlwind of fur and fury. Mike crawled away, kits trembling against his chest, their tiny hearts fluttering like trapped birds. Mourners gasped, frozen in horror's grip. The bear shook free. One wolf flung aside with a sickening thud. Silence fell, broken only by labored pants. The beast staggered, bloodied but unbroken, glaring at the grave. Then a flicker. Scar's silhouette reappeared at the tree line, eyes glowing. He howled once, piercing and urgent. The pack froze. The bear wheeled, crashing back into the woods. Victory? Or prelude? As the female nosed the kits toward safety, Mike realized, the bundle wasn't random. Inside the locket, a hidden note from John, faded but legible. To the wild, pass it on. But voices rose from the path, authorities drawn by the radio's spark. Guns? Rescue? The wolves turned, vanishing one by one, leaving Mike clutching the secret, breath caught as sirens wailed closer. The wolves' secret gift unravels, a legacy of kindness that heals every broken heart. Sirens faded into the night, replaced by the river's gentle murmur. Mike sat amid the clearing's hush, kits nestled in his lap, their warmth a fragile anchor against the ache. Rangers gathered, faces etched with exhaustion and wonder, sharing quiet nods as the female wolf lingered at the edge, her gaze soft now, almost tender. No chase, no fear. She approached, nose twitching at the locket in Mike's hand. He opened it fully, the note's words glowing under flashlight beams. To the wild, pass it on, every rescue echoes. John's script, steady as his stride. The female sniffed the metal, then nudged the kits closer to Mike. A silent entrustment. Emotions swelled. Gratitude washed over the group like dawn's first light, dissolving the night's terror into profound connection. One ranger knelt, tears carving clean paths through mud-streaked cheeks, stroking a kit's ear. He knew, Mike whispered, voice thick. Scar's return wasn't farewell. It was continuation. The pack had guarded John's relics through seasons. Locket, note, symbols of debts repaid in fur and fang. The female licked Mike's hand once, rough tongue conveying forgiveness, alliance forged in crisis. Dawn crept in, painting the grave gold. Mourners rose, lighter somehow, as if John's spirit wove through the mist. Mike vowed silently he'd raise the kits, release them strong, just as John taught. The wolves melted into the forest, but their howls lingered, a chorus of promise. Bonds like these? They transcend claws and time, reminding us kindness ripples eternally. Nature's wild heart beats with unexpected grace, turning strangers into guardians, loss into legacy. In the end, as Mike pinned the locket to his hat, the female paused one last time, eyes meeting his in unspoken vow. The kits mewled softly, safe in new arms. John's light endured, not in stone, but in lives intertwined. And in that sacred clearing, hope bloomed anew, fierce and unyielding. Nature always amazes with its magic of kindness.